Hello students, Michael Sanchez here. Welcome to the 1 to 2 year experience class. So we've been working really hard with students that are attending the classes on Thursday nights. So if you guys are interested in joining these webinars, all you have to do is go to violintutorpro.com, click on webinars and see the schedule, and you can sign up. And the nice thing is you guys will actually be able to see me if you're in the live class. Also, I can take questions from people that actually attend, and I give them a little bit of special attention at the end as well to answer questions. So today we're actually going to be working on the D major scale 2 octave because we have a really great piece in store for you. We're going to be learning the song Ave Maria. So I'm guessing most of you guys have heard that. This is actually a nice version of it. It's not too hard. There's some versions of Ave Maria that are just extremely difficult. So like one that I've recently taught a student was in 4 flats. So this is really nice because it's in 2 sharps. So nothing too complex. And actually we've been working in the key of D quite a bit. So this will be really nice. But to be able to play this piece, we do have to know how to play in third position. So I'm going to give you guys some tips on that. And actually the D major 2 octave scale requires shifting. So we're going to introduce that for some of you guys that have not done third position. Raise your hand if you guys are new to third position. You guys have not done it before. Let's see kind of where the class is at right now. Okay, it's about half and half it looks like. Most of you guys though, okay. All right, so basically the concept of shifting is that we play in first position, which is the standard position that all you guys have started playing with the violin. But then all of a sudden on one note, we're actually going to do what's called shifting, which is where we're going to actually go up into third position. So the way that I indicate it in music is by doing Roman numerals. So on this D, normally you would play this D as a third finger. We're actually going to play that as a first finger in third position. So for those of you guys that are here right now in the class, you guys can see that where I normally put my 3, I'm going to replace with a 1. What's really important with shifting is making sure that your thumb comes up with the shift. And to be able to do that really fluidly and smoothly, it's really important to be able to hold the instrument nice and secure. So if you're relying on holding the instrument with your hand, you're going to find it difficult to shift because it's like your hand is stuck to the instrument. So it's really important to be holding the violin properly with your chin and shoulder, and then you have the ability to shift, move your hand up nice and easy. One comparison I make to shifting is just like a guitar capo. Raise your hand if you guys know what a guitar capo is. So basically it's basically a clamp that goes on a guitar that kind of can move up and down depending on what song a guitarist is playing. The same concept is similar with your first finger and your thumb. It goes up and down together, kind of like a capo. Like where your 1 goes, your thumb goes. As you come back, they also move together. So that's kind of a comparison that makes some people that know what a capo is. So, all right, so the D major 2 octave scale is going to have us go into third position. So I indicated the note that we're shifting into. So I'm going to write down basically the fingerings of each note. So your first finger is your index, second finger is middle finger, third finger is ring, fourth finger is pinky. So we're basically, for the first 4 notes right here on the A string in third position. In the key of D, the third finger is high, away from the 2, and the 3 is touching the 4. And then in third position on the E string, the same goes. This is a C sharp. So we're going to be high for that. And then fourth finger will be a half step. So right there. So it's actually a very similar pattern on both the A and the E string for the D major 2 octave. Going down, it's going to be the exact same fingering. Sorry, that happens all the time. I don't know why. Everybody that attends my classes knows that that's a random instance. And then going down like this, 4, 3, 2, 1. But then on the E string second finger, we're actually going to go down to first position here. And then we're going to have an F sharp, first finger touching right there. Open, 3, high 2, C sharp, and so on all the way down. Okay, so let's try the D octave 2 major 2 octave scale, and you guys can play along with me. Let's make sure we use the whole bow, get to the tip, and relax your wrist as you go up and down. just like that. And you guys can definitely do the thirds if you like. That's a good practice of going from 2s to 4s, 3 to 1s. And I would just follow the fingerings. They have fine fingering for the thirds as well as the arpeggio. So if you guys want to work on those and maybe build up some speed, depending on how long you've been playing for, that would be totally fine. So like the thirds, you could play. So you could do them slower than that, but I just wanted kind of to get through that. Great. If you guys have any questions so far, feel free to ask anybody that's here in the class right now. Awesome. Okay, so let's go on to our next piece, which is going to be the Ave Maria. So I'm just going to go ahead and erase what I have right now. Yep, we're good. Oh, I got to get my natural. Okay. Okay, so the Ave Maria is considered a sonatina, so that's why you see that word at the top. If I scroll up a little bit, I believe it says Ave Maria. Maybe not. But yeah, it's a Schubert piece, and it's allegro molto, so it goes relatively quickly. It's in D, so that's a really nice key for this piece. All right, let me just kind of play through the first couple lines, and then I'll kind of just notice anything that I might see as being challenging. And yeah, there's some shifting that will be happening that I'll point out in a second. Okay, so we definitely have some spots in there that are challenging and tricky for those that have been playing around 1 to 2 years, so I'll be pointing some of that out to you guys now. Okay, so we're starting off piano, so make sure you guys are soft, not using too much bow. I would say this slur, see my cat in the background? You can see that slur there is 4 beats, but you don't have to use the whole bow because it's piano, so I'd use probably about half to 3/4 of the bow for that. Make sure you use 4th finger. And then open string is fine here. Now what's tricky actually, and this is definitely going to be challenging for some of you that maybe are less experienced, is that we're actually shifting into a C sharp and not a C natural. So as you guys can see in the key signature, we have C sharp, which also applies to the G string 3rd finger. So basically this is going to be a shift in the 3rd position where you normally would put your high 3. I'm showing people right now that are here. We normally play 1, 2, high 3. You're going to actually replace with a 1. And the way that you find 3rd position efficiently with a high 1 is that you still bring your thumb up the same way as you normally would, but then from that thumb position, it's easy to find the high 1 because it's just a half step higher. So you lead with your thumb, and then the 1 goes above the thumb. Raise your hand if that makes sense. Good. Okay, so that's going to be a C sharp. And then a half step to the D. So this is a half step right here. Those fingers should be touching. And this next note you could actually play 2 different ways. You could play with a 2, or you could just put your 3 down. I'm actually going to say 3 is going to be better there. That's going to be touching. And then we'll do a 3 here. We could do a 4, either way. So your finger is just going to basically slide up for that E natural. So these are the 4 notes there in that little run there, measure 3. Like that. So you guys can see my fingers. You got high 1, half step 2 is a D, half step 3 is D sharp. Then I just go up for the 3, or you could actually play that as a 4. So all your fingers would be scrunched up basically for C sharp, D, D sharp, E, just like that. You can see how I'm doing that. like that. So definitely on the A natural, naturally there's no other way to play that other than in first position. So make sure you guys are going down there for A natural. Here we're going to play this in first, but then shift up right away into third position, right here. Then we're going to put a 3 down for the B natural. And I actually stayed in third position. A lot of you guys are going to want to go down here, but actually it would be totally better fingering to stay in third for this. So for those of you guys that have never done third position, this is going to be rather challenging. But I think you guys like a challenge. Raise your hand if you like a challenge. All right. Okay, and then back to first position for the A natural. So that whole spot from here all the way to here, that can all be played in third, and that's the best fingering. So I'll go ahead and show you guys on camera here. So now 1, 3. Now 2. Now here it's actually not a half step, it's actually a whole step from the D to the E. And then you can do a high 3 for the E sharp, and then put the 4 right next to it. I should put a half step there for you guys. Half step mark right here. So yeah, this is kind of a little bit different from the D to the E, because the first 4 that we did, that little run, that slur, was all half steps, where this one is not. It's like that. But then the same thing, go down to the A. Okay, and then as far as a tip to do that slur properly, it takes, using the small muscles, using the index finger, having a really relaxed hand, curving the thumb, curving the pinky, not using the arm to guide the bow. If you're trying to do this, you're using too much arm, you're going to have trouble getting a good sound. And the bow has to be moving the same speed. So if your bow is kind of going like this, ba, 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 bum, whereas you're changing speeds of the bow for each note, it's kind of that concept of not being able to tap your head and rub your stomach, because the bow has to be moving really smooth, where it's not changing for any note, and then the left hand obviously is changing. So as you guys are doing third position, it's going to be easy to be doing, kind of wanting to do the same things like ba, ba, bum, bum, instead of ba, da, da, dum. The right hand is loose and relaxed. Raise your hand if that makes sense. Let's see. All right, you guys are paying attention. Good. Okay, so that's kind of the first part there. The last measure of the last line there. I would do 4 here. So right there, I would do 4. And then shift up in the third position for the G natural. Now right here you have an A sharp, which is actually 1.5 steps away. So there's a couple different ways that you could do that as a 2, like a stretch 2, or just a 3. I would just do it as a 3. So the same position as you would play a low 3, which is basically a B flat. A sharp and B flat are the same thing. So here's my low 3, my B flat. It's also an A sharp. Raise your hand if that makes sense. So my first finger to my 3 is the same thing as a B flat, but it's an A sharp. So it's, and then we have a B, which is a half step, so you're going to put your 4 down right next to it. So it's, like that. Yeah, these are kind of new notes, I think, maybe for some of you. And then if you mix in third position, it might be rather challenging maybe, but hopefully you guys will be able to handle it. I think just actually going through this first part might be what we do, and then I think we'll work on more of it next week. So I think that might be a good place to start for where we're at with experience level. But yeah, this is a really cool piece. I think it's really great to learn this piece. And for those of you guys that like a challenge, this is going to be great. Okay, let's see if that would be a good place to end. Yeah, I think that would be a good place to end. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is play from the beginning to A, go really slow, and then I'll speed it up a little bit so you guys can play along. So really slow. Oops, sorry. All right, so that was the beginning part. Let me take it a little faster. Maybe apply more dynamics. So. All right, so I think that would be great to practice this week. And next time we'll go through some more of it based on feedback if you guys like this piece. But yeah, my suggestions would be just work on the scales to start. Think about technique as much as possible, and then try to work through this piece. And if you guys are more newer to third position, I think it might be good to look at some of the videos in my intermediate lessons area that kind of talk about basics of shifting. Some things in there will actually show you exactly how the hand moves up. If you were not able to see me today, I think that would be a good lesson for you guys to watch. So check that out. And for right now, I'm actually going to just hang out with the people here and answer any questions they might have. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in another video.